4, 3, 2, 1.
This is the beginning of our shooting day, and this is my trailer. Each actor has an area where they kind of come and can hang out. And sometimes you'll have breakfast, and sometimes there will be one of the ADs.
Hello, ready for you in hair and makeup.
Oh, see? So now they're ready for me in hair and makeup. I usually start with hair.
Good morning, Will.
Good morning, Donna. And I usually do this first and then get into my wardrobe once I'm done. So Donna, in the difficult hair or easy hair to deal with?
Will's hair, as soon as we wet it, goes back just the way it wants to be, so it's actually very easy, I think. And that's it.
All right. So now we do the makeup part, which is always a challenge with me. My beard is so heavy.
We have to totally block it out because they want him to look very innocent.
What did I shave? Probably 3 hours ago. I still have to sometimes shave, and sometimes we have to shave at lunch too. This is half to a third of the makeup you use on like Saturday Night Live. Yeah, I was like spackled on. Thank you, Victoria. Now that we're done with hair and makeup, I have to get into wardrobe. This has been most of my costume through the movie are these yellow tights, my elf jacket, and then of course my elf shoes, which I don't know where they are. We're gonna get my harness and all this fun stuff.
Stick around, he's gonna take his pants down.
I'll let him know you said that.
Basically what we're getting on here is this safety harness so that when I'm flying around in the back of the sleigh, it'll keep me in the sleigh and not plummeting to my demise. Mark is actually who will be doubling me today. If I'm not funny enough, they get me out and they bring Mark in.
You know what he's been through today? I know. He's been hanging through the thing on the back and just flipping over the top.
And you're staring right at this thing coming at you.
Okay, let's lock it up. We're in the zone. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, action!
Reach on the frame as though you're pushing the button. Come back and make your power will crash. Just so you don't have to push the button and never
Yeah! Come on, my honeys! Go! Go! Pull it!
God.
All right, Will? How many hurts?
But this is like a pickup shot from something we shot way at the beginning of the movie, there's this snowball fight that I get in. What they've done is recreated the same backdrop to make it look like Central Park in New York, even though we're here in Vancouver.
We're gonna have you throw in. The reason we're shooting is just that we need more directions for you to be throwing in.
Great.
So let's load up his arm. I think we're good. All set, Les? Okay. Action. You're a gunfighter, you're Clint.
Do one with your arm straight down, and we'll put your arm in digitally and just do everything else with your body, but don't actually throw.
Oh, you're the man.
Do it, yeah. More hip. More hip.
Cut. It's pretty good.
God, thank you. I like the chicken wings, too.
There's not even film on the camera. It's just all set up. We actually wrapped 2 days ago.
Everything.
Over here's the trench.
Today we are filming the scene in the mailroom. Buddy's father, Walter, paints the mailroom as this wonderful place where packages go all over the world and it's bright and shiny, and I'm like, oh, let's go. And I get down there and of course it's very dreary and scary and depressing.
Since Will and I have worked together now for a few months, we kind of get each other's sense of humor. And so sometimes I'll make little suggestions to him.
It tickles. It tickles.
Go down for it again, Will. Let's see if we get a tighter seal. Sometimes he'll have ideas that he'll want to try.
It's very suctiony. Did you see that? Were you aware that it does that?
The rule of thumb usually is shoot it the way it's written once and shoot it again with alternatives.
I like to savor each little. Like I'm tiny, like I'm very small.
I'm more of a fan of playing comedy as real as possible, as opposed to trying to overtly be funny.
This place reminds me of Santa's workshop. Except it smells like mushrooms and everyone looks like they want to hurt me.
In a very real and sedate situation, play it big.
If I dive out onto you guys?
We're there.
Bumper.
I think in a lot of comedies, there's a potential to not invest in the characters. But with a character like Buddy, you're interested in where this journey is going to take him.
No wonder. Just a happy wonder. Oh, yeah.
If you have a lot of construction going on, there might be, say, 16 to 20 set dressers, maybe 10 people working for the prop department, 50 carpenters, 20 painters. You'll start off with a few people, crescendo ostensibly in the middle, and then sort of taper off near the end. This project is a little bit different than other projects in that we're going to be racing full tilt right up until we wrap. So if you include on any given day the entire staff of my department, including set deck, I mean, easily it could be over 100 people. You get about 10 weeks of prep, and you end up with a 10 to 12-week shoot, depending upon how expensive or big or elongated the shooting process is for the film. Overall, out of a person's life, it's about 5 to 6 months.
My background was architecture professionally, but also I do a lot of carpentry. My dad is a carpenter, so I had both sides. To be an art director, you are the hub of information between the production designer and all the departments that are involved in creating the world that the actors act in.
I oversee the construction or the building of all the sets. I'm involved in all the design aspects for structural integrity, quality control to make sure it's all built to the right size, and work off the blueprints that the art department gives us.
We have all this styrofoam product. We have to come in and prepare them. I'm namely responsible for backdrops and any painted finishes. Sculptors will come in and they will sculpt the styrofoam, and then the painters come along and we'll lay a coat of white paint on it. The special effects guys who are coming in this evening are now going to lay snow over the entire thing and brings it all together.
Booties, real men wear booties. Booties are cool.
Sets always move. In this case, this set has been turned over 2 or 3 times, so I'm in charge of taking the pieces off the set, finding spots for them, and putting the sets back together. And a billet is a 4 foot by 4 foot by 20 foot square piece of foam, and there's at least 40 to 45 in here. They've used probably 3 pallets of fake snow on top of it. And we'll probably use more because this has 1 more time to turn over. It's going to become an ice rink. We'll use probably another 6 or 8 billets of foam for that.
I was doing theater and trying to break into the film business. I had a great teacher that said, only when your boundaries are established can creativity truly begin. So you need to know the size of your canvas. I have people on my staff who I can phone up and I can say, find me everything I need to know about the geometry of snowflakes. Just all of the research I looked at had a very sort of Victorian feel to it. What we were interested in is the sort of rustic attributes which led us back to our sort of Northern European atmosphere that informed our architecture. When Jon and I first started talking about the design for the movie, he had mentioned to me that he wanted the film to feel sort of like it was already a classic. It was already It's a Wonderful Life, or it had a sort of Capra-esque attribute to it. And I pointed out that all the films that he was mentioning were black and white. And we came up with the sort of notion that all of the color might be pulled out of the backgrounds of the North Pole interiors. I wanted to give a sort of overall patina to the film so that the characters could come forward in color, and have tried to sort of keep that thematically throughout the film.
Everybody else was concerned about it, like producers and stuff, about aren't the sets going to be too white? And as the DP, you have a control that you could say they would be beforehand, but the production designer was so in love with it, and I felt that I could control that. You really have to trust each other and try to realize the other person's vision.
When we chose the colors for the elves, we chose earthen tones and tones that could come from nature. Without being only Christmas colors, there's something very Christmassy about these little people wrapped up like Christmas packages.
It took about 5 weeks to build the whole set. These posts here can actually come out and just leave the ceiling hanging, because we've hung it from chains off of the other roof of the studio. So we have 2 sets of walls which can be changed, and they fit in between the posts, and we have different windows which go in. What I like and find most interesting is when you look at the inside, it's completely finished, and the outside is a bare skeleton shell. That's the movie magic.
A large component of my work is moving furniture and picking up trash. I do maintain some continuity in conjunction with the continuity person and the props people. Whatever else we use to make our set look like what it's supposed to be.
So it involves a lot of digital photography, keeping track of where everything lives, endlessly moving stuff back and forth. We get anything from watches and rings to eyeglasses to toys.
All of these sets are designed so that they are modular. And we came up with this post and beam architecture, which is exemplary of the region. Some walls are log walls, some walls are vertical rough-sawn plank walls, and then some walls are horizontal plank walls.
I started in the theater and I worked my way over to film. My job is to take care of any carpenter needs on set after the main body of carpenters have finished the job and the unit comes in. We prep for this shot.
I know.
Okay, so we'll just de-prep it and we'll bring the clock over. We'll give us about 10 minutes.
Okay.
I move walls to facilitate lighting or camera moves. I work in conjunction with the painter typically. We take care of all the little loose ends on set.
I'm here for 2 reasons. I'm here for the production designer to help complete areas of painting, and then I'm also here for the camera department to perhaps dull areas. Say if there's a wall that the camera is reading as too hot, I'll knock it down 10% or 20%.
This technique that we are exploiting, forced perspective, it's an old style in-camera trick. We mess with the exposure and the focus, so something that's in the distance actually appears to be right beside you. So you misdirect this actor's eye focus, and then you misdirect that one, and they look like they're standing beside each other and talking to each other.
The actors really have to get eye lines right because they can't look at each other. Let's say they're sitting side by side. They can't just look like this because one's up here, the other's back here. So one's kind of looking this way, the other's looking that way, and it appears they're looking directly at each other. It involved a very short period of time to figure out the math, and it involved working really closely with the art department, the DP, the director, props.
Yeah, they do line up.
They do?
Yeah.
So that's directly across from each other.
That's right.
Okay, so we have to, if we slide her back down, then we have to give her an upstage eye line.
That's right,
okay,
and Willa downstage eye
good. Okay, so let's adjust their eye line one more time.
So it involves a lot of coordination, a lot of understanding from a lot of different people to really pull it off.
Oh yeah. Take a look at that.
Pretty good?
Yeah. That's beautiful. I take the angle, I take the light, make sure that we know what effect is being written down. I work a lot with the camera crew and I take camera notes. Can we center the work tables to the room?
The forced perspective process, we have little set pieces that are in the foreground, and so we ended up cutting up furniture, and some props are really big, some props are really small, but when you look through the camera and line it up properly, it all looks like it's one set.
These guys really place him in there, and then
works well, yeah.
and then you hide this line, and then you've got a complete illusion.
That's the standard size Etch-a-Sketch that we see with Will. The elves need one that's that much bigger, so when we see them, they'll appear to be 4 feet tall and holding something that we know to be this size. And we had some parts machined to duplicate what's in a real Etch-a-Sketch, which is like this one. So we've duplicated some of that so that we can see the elves assembling an Etch-a-Sketch. We had to find some sand that wouldn't stain the actor's hands, the containers for the sand, the scoops, and all of it has to be in 2 sizes, and very precisely 2 sizes. One is exactly 150% larger than the other.
This is what we call the elf scale set.
The ceiling is much higher and the chairs are much bigger and everything's bigger, but it's an exact replica of the other set. And we show all the elves that we want to look small on the big set.
The nomenclature we developed is elf scale or buddy scale.
You stand in the small version of the set, everybody looks really big because they're close to the ceiling and all the chairs are little.
The set is built as if it's in scale for this person. This is a 4 foot to 4'3" person, which is how big we want the elves to appear next to a human. So we use these for a scale reference. When you put Buddy in that set, it should be exactly 2/3 too small.
A lot of the scenes with the fireplace, we were reluctant to have the fire burning because the fire has to be in your scale.
Okay, right.
Otherwise, the physics of the fire betray the illusion. So you couldn't put the big room with a small fire.
Right.
So the fire can actually play.
Right.
But if you had this fire in the big scale room, it would seem too small.
It's exciting to watch on the screen, even in the monitors. The elves are so colorful and the background is so muted that it looks like it's all an effect shot all the time. Later on, when we tell people that there's no digital effects at all in the North Pole stuff, nobody will believe us because it looks so hyper-real.
Bye, Choo-Choo. 2, and bye, Sunshine.
I can look at the monitor all the time and think, wow, that's a cool shot. For me, it has been tremendously successful.
That's great cut. Check the gate.
I'm sick of being special.
Cut. Will, tilt down. Greg and Joe, take a look at this. Your job as a director is to tell a story. The challenge of directing a film is to make the audience feel like they're in the story and not pay attention to any of these things that all this work goes into. And cut. Check the gate on that. Your only job is to make sure that everybody is sharing the same vision, so that when the movies cut together, it looks like one seamless film that doesn't draw attention to any of those things and just tells you the story and makes you laugh or makes you feel something.
I'm sick and tired of being special.
Cut. You good, Will?
Yeah.
Right? Hey, Caan and Greg are over here. I'm waiting for Will to come out.
I wrote Elf as a spec in 1996. Thought it'd be very amusing to see a large elf walking around Manhattan, and it just kind of bounced around for many years. When you're writing a script, you just kind of have to let your imagination take you there, take you where the story goes.
He's not Santa! He's a fake!
Make it the best story you can, the tightest story you can, and wherever it goes, these are very smart people. They can do whatever you think of.
What in the name of Sam Hill?
It came from David Berenbaum's imagination, first and foremost. It always starts with the writer. And then he, with John Berg, my producing partner, developed it over a period of time, over a couple of years.
Developing a script is developing the story and the characters and making sure that a film has 3 acts. An initial act where you set up your characters and you set up your situation.
I hear you're going on a little journey to the big city.
A final act where everything is concluded.
My son, I love you.
You want the characters to have arcs and to evolve. That's kind of development.
Once we got it to Will, he was excited right away and we were off and running.
Look at you!
Pre-production could last several months before you actually start rolling film. Part of the planning process for a movie like this, where it's very visual, and there are a lot of stunts and a lot of special effects, is you draw storyboards. Of course, the storyboards are a framework that we deviate from a great deal, but it at least gives people an idea of how many people are going to be in a scene, the types of locations we have to find for the scene, and what they have to build for the scene, so that when you actually get to the set, everything's been pre-planned and all comes together. And then you hire people like your cinematographer, the sound men, the cameramen, and everybody has to work together so that you have one cohesive vision. This is great. This is the shot, and then we'll get another one that gives it a context. Yeah. When you actually get close to the time of filming, there are executives at the studio that are involved early on. There are producers who are involved.
Wow, can you come home with me? I bridge the gap between the creative producers and the money-managing producers. Basically, I'm here to make sure that Will Ferrell and Jon Favreau have everything they need to make this very, very funny movie.
Basically, my job is crew, budgets, answering questions, and dealing with problems. I'm the mother.
She also helps make sure that we are running on schedule, on budget, making sure all the unions are taken care of. She silently makes sure we're doing our job.
As a director, you're constantly being reminded if you're running behind in the schedule. Generally, you're given a certain amount of days. In the case of Elf, it's about 55 days. And you have to know how many scenes you could shoot in that time. And you have to plan pretty meticulously how many scenes you could do in a day.
All right, here we go. Let's try a rehearsal, everyone. Ready?
We start off taking the script and breaking it down scene by scene into all its various elements. Then you take all that information and you make a schedule out of it. I stay on the floor the entire day right beside the director, running things. Figure out, the blocking of the scene with the director, bring everybody in, show them what the blocking is.
You, sir, come up to this spot.
Discuss the shots for the day, decide on the best order to shoot the shots.
We'll be moving over to the forced perspective shot on the big set, and the B camera will be setting up the first piece of coverage here with Santa and Buddy.
And then we start with the first shot.
And action!
We just work our way through the day, sort of shot by shot, scene by scene, until eventually the film's all over.
Got it.
Unfortunately, Mondays are bad for most people, but for me they tend to be particularly bad because usually we start at about 7 in the morning, the whole crew, but usually I have to get here around 5 in the morning just to make sure that all the trucks are here, all of them are working, and everybody's kind of here and organized.
I'd say a typical day is anywhere between 15 and 17 for us. My job is to primarily work the floor with Jim, help set the background, spread information throughout the set, take care of the cast and make sure they have all their stuff and keep them informed as to what we're doing throughout the day. One guy didn't show up and they were looking for a slightly balding guy with a little bit of hair on the back, so I got pulled in. I just happened to match the character.
I need more Batante.
I take care of the cast. That's my main job. I check them in when they get here. I make sure they left the hotel okay, that they arrive on set, make sure they get their breakfast, and then we figure out what costume they need for the day, get them through hair, makeup, and send them to set when they're ready. This here is a circus, all the trucks and things that make up the outer perimeter of the film set. Hair, makeup, wardrobe, producers' trailers, and cast trailers. Hi, I'm I'm here with my friend.
Yes. All right.
And we know that it's the green costume for Snowball Alley now.
And are we up and ready?
In a few minutes, I'll come back and let you know.
Okay, great.
Will's always on time. He's the best.
On set, we're responsible for preparing the site, whether it's in studio or on location.
Sorry, man. Need to be on the outside of the curtains.
Getting rooms ready for extras or things like that.
You can have both.
I can?
Some of you have to have.
Because I'm special.
Because you're special? Well,
good together.
I'm a pushover.
Kind of the worker bees of the set.
I'm on the bell. It's a lot of pressure. It's a really annoying one. It goes, sounds like a car alarm, kind of like, woo, 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 woo. So it bugs everybody, but everybody hears it. We can call cut. And this kind of sounds like the penalty bell. So everybody knows to drop the work. You don't have anybody with a walkie-talkie.
Are you sure you don't?
Okay, here it comes.
Have my walkie-talkie? Are you sure you don't have my size?
Come on, guys, lock it up.
Makeup and hair goes through hundreds of people in the course of a day. There's been a lot of extras to 200 people. There's stunt doubles, there's photo doubles, there's Santa doubles, there's James Caan doubles. There's all sorts of things that we have to duplicate for stunts or for second units. Here you are in our trailer on a typical elf morning. We have 4 makeup ladies, and we are doing elf ears. So this is a little gelatin piece that we glue to the ear, and then we paint, and it becomes lifelike, and on camera it looks like all these people really have ears.
We work with the director on coming up with the designs and the look of the show. Hopefully it's all going well.
It's going really well.
Oh, hello. Well, Nicholas's hair was colored last week when he had to match somebody who was older. Is that hurting? Okay, just let it sit there for a second. A lot of them have had sort of textured hair, and it's been zigzagged up and down at the front in the fringe area, so it's not too symmetric. They like them tilted back slightly. Apparently it makes them look even shorter, and I don't know how that works, but it's a perspective thing, so that's what they tell us. So we angle them back slightly and keep our fingers crossed that they stay on. So is that comfy now, Nicholas? Okay, then you can go. Thank you. All right.
Wardrobe, let's let Ed relax. Let's take off some of his raiments.
My film and costume experience really came from being on the job. Studying art in school helped me very much to learn how to speak in visual terms. Anybody that you see walking around with clothes in that movie, I'm responsible for putting them on their backs, whether it be the people in New York City who just look like regular people, or the elves in the North Pole who hopefully look like pretty cool elves. Buddy really sticks out like a sore thumb. So when we were designing his costume, we were very careful to choose a color that felt very elfin and that stood out in the whole New York panoramic. The elf shoes we had to construct in such a manner that he could be running around the streets of New York in the middle of the winter time and still be comfortable.
One of the hang-ups is I have to get in and out of this every time. So if I want to go to the bathroom, for instance, I have to take everything off, unclip my suspenders. If you can tell, it has these little clasps, and they're pretty intricate in that it's pretty hard I can't quite get them.
You have to have a pretty strong plan of how you're going to cover each scene. They call it covering a scene. What shots you're going to need to combine and cut together to make a sequence play. And of course, the more shots, the more time it takes to light and shoot. You have to have some shot where the door gets open, otherwise you just find them in the crane shot that we shot the other day.
You know what? It could be open from the outside looking back in.
You might be able to avoid the whole thing and do the whole thing here.
Yeah, which is great. I mean, you know, this would work just fine, really.
And we just jump cut from him saying goodbye to Papa, off the hug to Papa into the door opening. I think that could work. Different shots make you feel different ways. When you have a close-up of somebody and that person is sad, you're emotionally going to react to him more than if it was a far-away shot of a lot of people and the one little person in there is sad.
No!
You have to learn as a director how to best tell the story.
film camera. This is a video camera.
Greg Gardner is an amazing DP. He had worked with special effects, with visual effects, with CGI, and movies in a huge grand scale. He wasn't daunted by anything that we threw at him.
There's the director of the main movie, and then all the photographic elements, there's a director of that too. And I'm the director of photography, the cinematographer. Well, it was more the idea that would you use this?
Show me this close-up
what
on
we've
the
got
dude.
right here.
Show me the close-up.
That we have to drive in for, because we would still do 75s, but we still have to drive in and pull. I would think you want to make them clean, right? We'll pull well back a little bit. I did study art through like all the grade school levels and high school. This is what artists end up doing, art people. The deer are passing over, it's true. The direct photography is 3 departments. There's the grip department, the lighting department, and the camera department.
What I do is operate the camera, whether you have to pan the camera left or pan the camera right or tilt. There's all kinds of different ways to move the camera. We've got the gear head with the little wheels. That's my job to actually do the physical operating of the shot once it's lined up.
14, Frank, take 3. Marker.
I start with setting marks for the actors so they come to the same position each time for lighting and for camera position and so on.
Marker.
Nice slate, George.
And this is for identification purposes for the editors. Also load film, take care of the amount of footage that we shoot each day.
Whenever you see the camera moving, then that's what I do. Is I move the camera with the camera operator on there and the camera.
And action.
When you're moving the dolly, you just have to feel it. Like your body, you can't go like this as you're walking. You have to feel your steps, so your body takes up the absorption. That's what makes it nice and smooth. This right here is dolly track, and the camera will roll on the dolly down the track and allow the shot to move. So it looks like Buddy's walking, so it feels like the camera is Buddy.
I'm in charge of camera motion. The camera has to move with the actors. I'll set up a little railway so the camera can follow the action smoothly. If they have to remove walls, I will help with that. Sort of on-set engineer, on-set handyman, shall we say. And I'm also in charge of creating shadows. That is, you can put light onto a subject, but you can also take light off. And I do that with little flags and things that are assembled in stands.
The lighting department places all the lights. We have enough lights here to power a small town.
Some people are too shy to be interviewed for this, like our gaffer. Actually, he's probably just too busy because he is always making sure that the lighting is correct. The DP and he work very closely together to make sure that we get this excellent strobing effect, for instance, all are gaffered.
Important thing in my job is to make sure that everybody is intelligible, that we can hear exactly what they're saying, and that we're not bothered by the clutter of everything else that's occurring around here in the movie studio. Making sure that that doesn't distract from what they're doing visually and what complements the image. The image goes onto film, and the sound goes onto a tape. When they say roll,
roll please.
Sound speed. I roll sound, camera will roll.
And roll please.
And what happens to synchronize the two is we'll see somebody clap something.
21 kilo, take 3. Marker.
We need some point of reference, and that reference is a clapper. As long as they're both happening consistently in time.
21 break, take 1. Marker.
We can reliably assume that the rest will occur in time too.
You know what? You could take over. I need to learn the sound man ways.
I hold a pole with a microphone on the end of it, not unlike this one. Basically, I try to point the mic at what the camera is seeing. If there's sound effects or something like that, I'll be pointing it at that, but the primary purpose of it is to get the dialogue. My arms used to get tired, but now it's more a question of losing the blood in my arms. It's uncomfortable.
What I am is Stunt Buddy, which is Mr. Ferrell's stunt double. You run and you bang into walls and you hit hard things. And that's what I do because we can't afford to have the actor getting hurt. Started crashing and falling from the time I was 6 years old and worked my way up. That's where I got my practice, just playing a lot of sports.
You know that's not really me, right? Have you been thinking this is Will Ferrell the whole time?
You get to work with guys like that all day long. It's quite fun.
When you say we got coverage on, we shot that with Bob.
Yes, we did.
Yeah,
we got a single on Bob for this.
Good.
What I do is keep track of what the actors say and do, and try and make sure they do it the same way each time, so that when the editor gets the pieces, it all cuts together. What you seem to be doing now is physically turning your whole body rather than your head, which you seem to do in the coverage when we were shooting from over here.
It's really helpful for me because you shoot it from one angle and it looks one way, and then you shoot another angle the next day. I can't remember where everybody is. Jess, what's the narration under this thing?
But as much as Buddy was accepted by his friends and family, there were a few drawbacks to being a human in an elf's world.
So script supervisor, one of their important jobs is not just to keep track of everything we shoot and every angle, but to make sure that each shot will cut together. So now we're watching playback.
What do you mean? I record everything we do on a computer so that we can find any shot in the movie whenever we need to find it. Very handy when you're bouncing from Manhattan to the North Pole, to one set to a large set, small set.
How was that last one?
That was good. Print. When you like a take, you print it so that you get to watch it printed on film, and then you look at it in dailies and make sure that it's as good as you thought it was.
And action. Well, I'll miss you, buddy.
They're screening the dailies in there. They get developed overnight, and then we screen them on a big screen to make sure that the focus is good and everything technical works, and that the performance are as good as we thought that they were. If not, we're still at the set, so we always have the opportunity to pick up a shot.
And if you see a sign for a peep show, that doesn't mean they're letting you look at presents before Christmas.
So at lunch, we all eat in there, and we all watch the previous day's work.
And if you see a sign for a peep show, that doesn't mean they're letting you look at presents before Christmas.
The biggest job of being a director is dealing with the actors, because at the end of the day, that's the most important thing, is the performance that's on the screen.
A lot of suction.
When you pick a location, you try to create opportunities for those actors in their performance and try to give them a place where they could be very creative. Especially a guy like Will, who's a very funny guy and very improvisational. He makes things up on the spot.
It's very sucky.
I like to have things built for him that he could play with, because the funniest stuff is usually the stuff that you find on the day.
It tickles. It's okay, it tickles. It's very sucky. You should try it.
Sucky.
It's sucky. And it tickles. It sickles.
It's important to be able to create a little bit of quiet and a little bit of stillness for people to be creative and never to let the actors feel the pressure of the production. Let's just run through the dialogue.
Okay, let's get it quiet, everybody.
In most of the movies I've worked on, the directors usually encourage some form of improvisation. And I think comedy lends itself to trying new ideas and doing something that's not necessarily written on the page.
We're best friends. We're tight.
I don't know if I'd say tight.
No, we gotta make it more buddy, but
John will sometimes go, let's just do one more and do anything you want. So I'll come up with different lines, I'll improvise, use a prop in a way that I didn't use it before. I try to make it different every time, just to once again provide another choice.
It took a very long. Ooh! Wow! It's very suctiony.
the key to a Christmas movie is the story and the message and the theme.
Treat every day like Christmas.
On the one hand, I wanted to get big laughs, but on the other hand, I wanted to make a movie that had the potential to be a classic that would show every year.
Maybe he just needs a little Christmas spirit.
When you watch the movie, you shouldn't be aware of any of this. The trick is to never let the shots, the sets, the special effects, or any of that take you out of the story.
It's good. He's totally blushing. He loves it.
I love it. Do you want people to laugh? You want them to be scared? You want them to cry?
I'll always be here for you.
And I wanted Buddy to be a warm character that developed over the course of the film, and to be somebody that people liked and somebody that you felt for as you went through all of these trials.
What?
Yes?
It's the Golden Globes calling, John.
He's turned in a great performance, and I think that I'll be able to put something really nice together in the editing room.
I'll make a minute.
Really now, 2, 1, last one.
Our love for, special effects and monsters is what got us into this stuff. Stop motion was the thing that we loved most. We grew up with Gumby, Davy and Goliath, all of that stuff, plus the Ray Harryhausen.
Oh, yeah, Ray Harryhausen worked in
Willis O'Brien.
We lived in the Bronx, and when we saw King Kong, we saw him walking down the street in our neighborhood, and we asked our mom and dad to take us to the Empire State Building so we could see the crack in the cement they made. And that hooked us into monsters, and then I guess eventually we figured out how they did it. Well, and we started making little mini movies at home with Super 8 camera. I was, 10 years old, and you were 12?
That's how you get into it, you fall in love with something, and it changes your life. I'm a character development, character designer. Take the troll. It starts with a script, an idea, and you start visualizing it. You visualize it on paper first. You start designing characters based on their description. I fill pages, and I let the director or the client choose which one. Over a 3-4 week period, I generated like 150 variations of this character that we ran by Jon, the director. Well, can you make it dirtier? Can you make it fatter? Can you give it short hair? Can you give it bigger eyes? Took a little bit of this, a little bit of that, a little troll, a gremlin. He had something in his head, and eventually we got to it.
Jon wanted a simple narwhal design. He wanted him to pop up and say, "Bye, buddy, hope you find your dad." And he wanted the horn to come up like the Chrysler Building. Well, because it was a live-action film, I think our first initial reaction was that they wanted realistic characters.
So I did some research, and I figured, I'll make a little whimsical narwhal.
So you see some of Charlie's drawings, they're fleshed out more realistically like a narwhal whale. And he went through a lot of variations.
And Jon said, no, I want this little thing. And realized, you know what? He wants this. Right. This is cute. And Jon was saying, I want the fun and all the quirkiness of stop motion animation. So he said, that'll be easy.
Bye, buddy. Hope you find your dad.
Thanks, Mr. Narwhal. You take it to a three-dimensional stage, so you can see it in full round. You can see how it looks front, back, top, and side. There's always a translation from the paper to 3-dimension. Well, that nose looked good in the drawing, but let's make it a little smaller, a little bigger.
I sculpt these, what we call maquettes. These are like 3D study models of the 2D designs. And then from this step, we scale them up to the actual animation puppet size, and we sculpt the puppets. This is our walrus and our polar bear and our puffin. Now these two guys here, they're a slightly different technique than the puffin. We cast them out of a flexible foam rubber material. It's just like sponge rubber, and this enables us to have a flexible skin that can bend. Now inside this character is a flexible mechanical skeleton. This is what we call a ball and socket armature, and it's made in such a way that it simulates the skeletal structure so you can bend and move the character. And then on top of the foam, we did a flocking technique to give it a fuzzy texture. So it's got this soft, fuzzy flocking on the outside. And the puffin was a slightly different character. This guy, to simulate the mouth movements, we have what we call replacement animation, where we replace the beaks with different mouth positions to articulate different pronunciations. So when the puffin says, "Hey buddy, wanna pick some snowberries?" the animator replaced the mouth positions with these sculpts to simulate the pronunciation of the dialogue.
Hey buddy, wanna pick some snowberries?
So I went up north and worked with Jon in trying to block out how the characters were going to be photographed in a scene.
These guys are just our stand-ins for a lighting reference.
The gray ball is for shadows, to figure out how the light is coming in from all of the different sources.
It's like a funny game of pretending. You have to imagine what they're going to be like, what they're going to say, how they're going to move without them being physically there in the scene.
Too far! And then we'll take them out. Too far!
The real fun is when we animate. I guess we're gonna pick this up after Buddy runs past the puffin and the other little critters. I work with the animators. There are people who physically move the puppet. They're the ones that, let's say, are on the front line under the camera.
The calculations and stuff alone on the animation was incredible. And then the physical demands of a heated stage. And plus keeping track of it frame by frame and knowing that you only had one shot.
Bye, buddy.
Bye, buddy. Take care.
Bye-bye. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye, buddy.
Bye, buddy. Hope you find your dad.
Thanks, Mr. Narwhal. Bye.
We had an opportunity to figure out what our passion was at a very early age. I mean, this is what we wanted to do. And when you do it, as an adult, it's fun.
That's the key, to be able to attach yourself to something that you love, to nurture it and make it happen. It's great.
The expression is that when you're filming a movie, it's like shopping for groceries, and in post-production, you cook the meal. Cut. Production was about getting the movie shot, and post-production's about making the movie.
Overall, the whole post-production process would be anywhere between 9 months and a year. You have people working in the visual effects department, you have people working in the sound department, and then the music. There are probably 125 people involved in the post-production process.
Everything up until this point, although it's glamorous and it's exciting, and it's the part that you think about when you think about making a movies or being a director, the real creativity goes into editing the film, because that's when you decide what the movie's really going to be.
I have to take it the next step, which is to forget what intentions are and look for what could possibly be the best final movie. I look at all these different camera positions, and then I decide where the best piece is to use.
I'm here with my dad, and we've never met, and he said to me, sing a song.
We're going to review that part of each take. So I like that one because it's funny, he's self-conscious, and he prepares himself to sing the rest of the song. It leaves us a little place to go for the scene to progress and get funnier.
I was adopted, but you didn't know I was born. So I'm here.
And we use this part.
I found you.
So we like that part where he sings all high.
I was adopted, but you didn't know I was born. And now I'm here, and guess what? I love you, I love you, I love you!
Now we kind of like that ending, so we use that ending now. But we don't like what happened in the middle.
So we like the beginning and the end of take 5 and the middle of take 6.
And so we sort of stitch them all together by using cutaways to Walter and Amy Sedaris, who plays the secretary. Part of it's keeping it tight so that the scene moves and then making it feel natural. And that's really the trickiest part, is making it seem like we didn't touch a thing, that you're just watching it happen.
And he wants me to sing him a song. And I was adopted, but you didn't know I was born. So I'm here now. I found you, Daddy. And guess what? I love you, I love you, I love you!
There it is. That's how the partnership works between an editor and a director. There we go. We strangle each other.
The number of people that worked on this film, visual effects-wise, is easily over 200, probably closer to 300.
Visual effects is one of the longest lasting and, for my money, the most fun parts of making a movie. I'm responsible for any situation that can't be shot normally, really. If we need the sleigh to fly through the sky, we have to come up with something that looks like the sleigh flying through the sky. The reindeer that were shot on location, who were just kind of peacefully grazing, in the shot where they leap into the air and are actually flying, they're CGI characters. Our steps are to join them to the sleigh that we shot on the blue screen stage, and in some cases replace that sleigh with a CG sleigh. There's many pieces that come together to make one shot. On the Avid, we'll stack all those pieces together.
If we do the job well, you look at it and you just see Santa's sleigh flying through the park, and you don't even realize how much trouble it was taken to do it.
In the snowball fight, to really make it as scary as possible and as fun as possible, we said there's not 10 kids throwing 10 snowballs, there's hundreds of snowballs being thrown. And what Digital Dimension had to do was make computer graphic snowballs that looked as real as the snowballs we photographed.
We created a virtual representation of the actors so the snowball can bounce off of them. And then we go through a process of lighting the scene. We merge the elements, then we control the subtle elements like the color, the grain, until it's totally perfect.
I think there's probably lots of kids who love to watch this stuff. There's lots of adults who love to watch it and to try to figure out how to do it. Using digital photography and home computers, you can try all the same stuff.
Once we stop making picture changes and when we develop what we call lock picture, we actually generate videotapes for the sound people to start working with.
I handle all of the dialogue, all of the sound effects, backgrounds, birds, wind, all of the sound you hear in a movie except the music. There's probably about 25 people that work for the sound. My job as the supervisor is to hire all of those experts and to let them do what they do best.
Well, this is really something. I'm usually...
Dialogue editing is taking the original production tracks that were shot on the stage. One angle will have a buzz in it, the next angle will have traffic in it, and all of those things we need to fix to where it all comes out very smooth.
You're so weird.
These are the sounds of the words, sound waves. Each thing is a word or a sentence, and that's how we work.
Then there's the sound effects, and those are broken into 3 categories, basically. One is Foley, which is the simple thing like the piece of paper crumpling in your hand.
We re-perform the actors with sound effects. If they're walking, we make the sound of their feet. The objects they're touching, we have to create sounds for that. The snow was one of the bigger issues in the very beginning.
What would you want the North Pole to sound like? Is it fluffy and soft? Is it crunchy? Is it fresh fall? Is it snow that's been there for 10,000 years?
Trying to get a real sound of snow is a little difficult in Southern California in the summertime. So we brought in about 600 pounds of snow ice, which is very fine. It's finer than snow cones. And we put on our big snow boots and walk in it. And then we add other things like kitty litter, which crunches. And we squeeze cornstarch, which squeaks. And when you apply all 3 of those sounds together, you have snow. We try to record sounds that will fit in the movie to either sound real or to sound funny. And in this case with Elf, we're trying to find many ways to make the audience laugh. These are fun. Try to hide these in every single movie.
And then there's what we call hard effects. So Santa's sleigh needed a sound. I can't go out and record Santa's sleigh. It has to be something that's created, but that the audience, when they hear it, they go, yeah, that's Santa's sleigh. The difficulty in doing comedy is that you don't know really what the audience is going to respond to. But there are a lot of fun sequences where the sound really accentuates the moment.
We're in post and now we're scoring. And this is, kind of the best part of the process for me, because you get to see it all come together. Everything that has to do with music I'm involved in. That includes songs, hiring a composer, putting together the scoring sessions.
I meet with the director normally and we discuss style and we discuss different aspects of the movie. And then I go away in my little room where I have a piano and I have lots of synthesizers, and I start to create some themes.
Another group of people that work with us will create a written form of what his synthesizers are, which I then take and put into a full score. I will put all of the notes all on this one piece of paper that the conductor then uses to conduct the music. The music copyist actually will make another piece of music that will take just that top line, which in this case would be the flute, and make a flute part. And then all the way down, everybody gets their own piece of paper.
I wanted to do sort of a traditional Christmas score, but I also wanted to give a little edge to it. The film itself has a nice little edge. Sort of, you have some broad comedy, and yet you also have some more subtle comedy. And I wanted the music to reflect some of that, just a little off-center feeling. So I used weirder instruments in a couple of spots to give it a little more interesting left-of-center feel to it. All right, gang, look at bar 4, please. Who's doing the sleigh bell?
An orchestral score, and it's a score that makes a lot of comments on the action and also plays the dramatics, but balancing accordions and wood flutes and guitars and things like that against the orchestra is a task that is a bit more challenging than a typical orchestral score.
I've never been on a stage like this before with all these instruments, and the sound of the music that he's composed when seeing it with the movie is really exciting for me as a director. These are all, concert musicians, so they're the best at what they do, and to hear them playing this music really adds a whole emotional layer to the film. It's wonderful. This is the last step before the movie's complete. It's the final mix. This is where you really make the movie look professional and make it sound like a real Hollywood film. Right now we're sampling some burps for Buddy at dinner.
I re-record the dialogue and music. Re-recording means that it's already been recorded once, and I'm actually re-recording it, adjusting it, making it fit in the theater, and making him happy, because that's kind of what it's all about.
In the final mix, we take all the music that we scored, all the songs that we wanted in the movie that were recorded from elsewhere, all of the dialogue that we recorded on the set, all the ADR and looping that we did with loop groups and with the actors that came in after the fact, and sound effects that were pulled together by John Levesque and his team. And we have it all available on these mixing boards here, and we mix together the elements and figure out what proportions we want the music to be compared to the sound effects, compared to the dialogue. And so we want everything to be understandable, but we also want to make some creative choices. Certain times you might want the music to sweep a little bit more, or to really hit you front and center.
Did you hear that?
This is the fun part. This is when it all pays off.
Tonight is the premiere of the movie in New York City.
What we do now is we show up and we walk the red carpet and we talk to all the different news outlets, and that helps publicize the movie.
The lights, the feeling, the people, the hustle, the bustle, the Ferrell.
Tremendously excited. Amazing. Amazing. It's great.
Why is there no candy cane? How do you expect me to maintain my weight?
I'm completely in a Christmas mood, but I've been in one all year.
It's sort of closure of the whole experience where we could sort of all get together and enjoy what we've done. But this is a night that's going to be great and I'll remember forever.
Red with a pointy floppy hat. A part of the hat is white. He has like a red and black suit and there's like a black belt around it. He wears big clothes. He wears red and he wears black boots. He has a nice white beard. And he's old. He's not that old and not that young. In the middle. He's not like Scrooge. He's a real person. I like Santa. Where does Santa live? At the North Pole. It's cold and it snows. Really icy, really cold. People don't have water, they'll die. It'll be hard to walk because it'll be all slippery. Like, you need like rubber things that can stick on so tight that you can walk there. It's got polar bears. bears, penguins, like polar bears sometimes. He lives in a house that's kind of like an igloo, but it doesn't look like an igloo. It's kind of like a mansion. And it's always like something pretty. One part of it is funny because it has a Santa helicopter. Who are elves? They're Santa's helpers. They're like little munchkins. They're people. They're nice and friendly. Some are mean, some are nice. They're short. They can be big or small. They're like about this small. Like maybe like this big or something. They're kind of like that big. The elves are this big. And that's so they can see every problem when they make a toy. Because they're small, they can see super small stuff. They always make the toys really good and special. And they wear green and white outfits. They wear little hats and little suits. The hat is pointed up like that. They just wear green costumes. They look kind of like pajamas, but they're different. And they wear these shoes that go up like this. How does the sleigh work? Reindeers, they fly. It's a red sleigh with his reindeers caught inside something so they won't come off. They just jump. And it's got a big place for gifts with reindeers and the motor with a fire on the back of it that comes out to make the reindeers fly better. What happens on Christmas Eve? He rides on his sleigh. You have to give him cookies and milk. When we're all asleep, he probably flies off and gives us our presents. He goes down the chimney. And they have to do it by the morning. He bees really quiet and for he won't wake up the people, for you won't know he's there, and then he puts up all the presents you want and then he just goes to the never house. What happens Christmas morning? I wake up at morning time and I come and open my presents. I'm really excited and I can't really wait. I can open one present on Christmas Eve and the rest I open on Christmas morning. Whenever you get up and other people are up and they already see the presents at the tree, and then you see the presents at the tree, and then when they tell you you could open it up, you could open it. Before I could open my presents, I have to vacuum. Who gets presents? When people are good, they get presents from Santa Claus. Only the people who be good, not the bad people. If you're really bad, then you'll get a bag of rocks or lumps of coal. He has a list that has bad kids, and the bad kids only get coal, but the rest get presents they want. He has a TV that they can see kids being good or bad. When naughty boys and girls don't listen, they don't get presents from Santa. They only get coal, a bag of coal. I don't know what list I'm on. I don't know if I was bad, and I don't know if I was good. What was your favorite Christmas gift? My train table. My Max Steel toy. My cyber spider. A pirate ship with all different pirates. The best Christmas gift I've ever gotten was binoculars. I got a giant robot dog. First Christmas, he gave me a very fragile motorcycle. What's your favorite part of Christmas? When it snows. About everyone being happy. It's got a tree and lights and open presents. when my little brother and big brother cries this, I got the Christmas spirit!
Decorating is celebrating.
I usually start decorating right after Halloween.
8 to 10 hours a day, every day. It's for the season, to make people jolly. You just keep at it until it's done.
I love Christmas. I always tell my kids less is more until it comes to Christmas lights. Then you can never have too much. We have lived up here for 20 years. And yeah, we've added to it every year.
Hello, Murph.
This is Murph. He's an original owner up here.
There was 800 houses built at one time, and so we were all out here fixing our lawns up and working, getting to know each other, and never stopped doing it. That fella bought that house just because of this area to decorate on Christmas.
To be honest with you, some of us work on this almost all year.
Your block captain gets you together and you basically vote on what you want to have done.
But it's fun. Everybody gets together, everybody gets to know each other, and so we call him the inspector.
No, I'm a crafts teacher.
Yeah.
This is one of the things that really helps me to say, okay, yeah, it's time for Christmas.
Merry Christmas.
Hey, what's up? Merry Christmas. Got festive and did a Christmas ringtone.
There's a lot of tradition, and with that tradition comes great memories, and it is worth the effort that we go through to do this. Each of the streets have their individual themes. There's a level of competition.
Turns out I didn't really know how to do the bows too well, so my mom stepped in and did that, and we raided a tree for some of the arms, and yeah, it worked. It actually turned out really well.
Traffic is like this, especially the closer it gets to Christmas, every night.
The school buses as well as tour buses that come up every single night and go through the neighborhood.
But it's just part of living up here.
We start decorating and a little bit before Thanksgiving. It takes us about 3 weeks to put it all out.
A lot of the stuff is used material that I salvage over the years from when we built a second story here, and then my son's house down below. We saved I saved some of the material from there.
Anything that needs to be built, he does. I've got an idea in my mind how I want to decorate, so then I just decorate it.
I use everything I can think, and I like to fabricate, let's put it that way.
We have a box of candy canes over there, and when the kids come, we give the...
That's something she started, 2 or 3 years ago. They climb on the bucket, put their face in here, and the parents take pictures.
I'm kind of like a kid at heart, I guess.
Every night we sit here. That's our social life until the show is over. We enjoy it because we meet a lot of people from all over the world. And I offer you people a little candy cane. That's her trick.
My strategy for decorating for Christmas is to get up very early every morning, sneak down the stairs, plug in the coffee pot, and think, what do I want to do today? Do I want to start with the nativities? Do I want to do villages? It usually takes me a good 30, 35 days, 8 hours a day. This is the main tree of the house. Most of these ornaments have been given to us as gifts. Here's my big 747, which I have many, many memories of. Right here's the Eiffel Tower. It's my first Christmas away from home. Just so many things that are so many fond memories. This is my London village. We have Kensington Palace. We have Big Ben. I fly to London a lot. And I was very lucky to be there the day of Diana's funeral. I've only been doing villages, I think, maybe 5 years. I absolutely love doing them. Over here we have China. And in the back we have India. The Ice Hotel from the Arctic Circle. In the seaport I have the lobster traps, catching the fish, cleaning the fish. Even back here we have our chipmunks. I have Herod's Palace here. We have a little vineyard here, a farm with the sheep. This goes up every year. It's one of my favorite things.
She thinks about this all the time, middle of July, and it just grows and grows and it festers.
I'm terrorized sometimes because I don't know where to step, where to put my foot.
It's hard not to be in the Christmas spirit when you're in this house.
Where is it going to end? Are you ever going to find an ending?
Everything you see, I build and make myself. Mr. Snowman's the first one I built. That snowman's 20 years old. Everybody loved it when they first seen the snowman sitting out on the window waving to them. They thought it was great, so I started doing more. Many people want to buy this stuff, but I wouldn't sell it because then I wouldn't have it. Yeah, Santa with one of his helpers over on this side, if you could see the wiper motor that makes the arm go back and forth. The reindeer is missing his nose because I haven't had a chance to put him on yet. My job is stressful, so when I come home, I go down the cellar and I start drawing something, or I'll paint something, just to calm my nerves down so the stress is gone and I'm at the level where, you know, I feel good now. Got my table saw for cutting all my fine stuff, and I got my drill, I got the sanding machine, I got another saw in the back, so I've got plenty of equipment. I've got so many I don't know. That's one of the elves that were outside on the ladder. That's what I do, is I get the coloring book over there and I'll draw it up as big as I want. I just get done with the little wooden sled over there. I made that for my son. That's going to be his Christmas present. Let's see if we can get him here. This year I made this for my wife. Should stand up right there. Yeah, in 1992 I bought the house, so we come up with the idea of saving the tree pieces off of them. Because when you bring a tree in the house, you're supposed to cut a little bit off, and that's what we do each year. I like decorating. I keep saying I'm not going to do it no more because I'm getting, you know, at the age where I keep saying it's getting time to retire. But I don't know. Once the kids come over the house, last week I had my granddaughter, and that's the first thing she said, "Grandpa, you're going to get the house decorated for us?" I said, "Yep, we'll get it decorated."
When you decorate this much, you have to be prepared and you have to start really early. 8 to 10 hours a day, every day. It becomes more of an addiction within yourself. My grandchildren call me Grandma Frosty because for several years I've become Frosty the Snowman during the holiday season. I own the Frosty the Snowman costume. I've become Frosty the Snowman on the street. Pardon me, Snow Woman. Part of my Christmas tradition is that I like to play my Calliope music box because it's very magical sounding, and to me Christmas is a very magical time. And let me just start it up for you right now. It's a very beautiful sound. Okay? Whoa! It gets a little bit difficult to see. And of course there's an art to lighting candles, which I haven't discovered yet. You guys, if I start on fire, can you help me, like, put myself out? Christmas? Say Merry Christmas, Sophie. No, you're not going to be full of the Christmas spirit. Say hello. Merry Christmas. This year, every year I have a color theme, and this year my color theme was red and silver. My daughter thinks it's a little loud, but I figured, why not, we'll go out with a bang here. Christmas is such a special time, and my home needs to be a special place during that time because a lot of my children come home, and I want my house to be a very special place for them to come and to enjoy the holidays.
Everybody loves Santa.
He takes older people and makes them young again.
He just means so much to so many people.
This will be 30 years of surfing Santa. The original surfing Santa blew out his knee, so at the last minute they put me in the Santa suit and sent me out there. And this will be my 5th year. The kids go crazy. It's fun to spread the Christmas cheer. Good way to get in the holiday mood. They made me a custom suit, and then I made Santa hat and beard. I put them on a wetsuit. Yeah, I have to have the red board. That's my sleigh, a reindeerless sleigh. But the waves push me. Another nice winter swell. Got a couple long rides all the way to the beach. And then the dolphins came to visit. Oh my gosh, they went right by me and then right under me on a wave. Oh, they could have touched them. It was great. It's a great honor to be the surfing Santa of the South Bay. There's a lot of responsibility. You get a lot of respect. All the ladies like it. They want to sit in my lap. I think Santa's universally loved. He's a great, big, happy, jolly guy. I'm going to continue the tradition as long as I can paddle out.
I have been in the costume business for approximately 30 years. We're very busy with Santa almost year-round because we make them here. This year I used about 2,000 yards of velvet and about 4,000 yards of wool and maybe 6,000 yards of satin for the lining. Really, these are very, very special. The vest and the pants and the hat and a white shirt with red trimming, the wigs, the gloves, the glasses. Add all that up and you got a real serious investment in the Santa suit. Sometimes they want sequins. I call that the Hollywood Santa. This is a Santa trimmed in fake ermine. Now this one is the one with the real rabbit fur. That's a specialty item. Only for the Santa who doesn't love animals. We're looking for a new style.
Yes, okay. A new style.
Let's see this one. This is the open jacket.
Ooh, that's the one.
That's the one you've been looking for.
It's already done.
It's yours.
I don't know, how does it look?
It looks great. It looks perfect. I asked one of them. He said he was Santa for 3 hours and all these kids loved him, I guess. He said that was the greatest moment of his life.
That's it. You get to see kids. You really get to see the inside of the child. That's the best part.
Once they do it once, they want to be Santa every year.
It's just real powerful. It's so pretty overwhelming almost.
Santa to me personifies love. The season is so full of giving. Everybody's so nice. I'm gonna crash after Christmas. It takes me like 6 weeks to recover, I think, after the season. Then I don't see red for a while.
I came to California in 1960, and our first trip up to Santa Barbara, my children noticed Santa on the roof at Carpinteria.
The kind of art that Santa Claus represents, it's roadside vernacular art
which basically was a form of advertising. Stop, look, come in, buy. It was a very big success. It became a regular attraction. But of course, things change, and eventually it was sold to another individual who said, I don't like the theme of this, and I wish to change the theme.
A week before Christmas last year, there was an editorial in the Ventura store that if Santa didn't find a new home in 30 days, he was going to the dump. We had to save them.
We had a meeting with our water board, and we discussed on what we could do to save Santa. We had this empty lot here, and we thought that this would be a great place for him.
The community rallied, not for historic or preservation purposes, because it's Santa Claus.
We tried to keep Santa as classy as we could. We didn't want a chain link fence because this was Santa Claus. He needed something special. So as you can see, he's got the reindeer. And the plan is when daylight savings time starts, I sneak over here in the middle of the night and change him over from clear glasses to sunglasses. And I think this year he might even have a surfboard. Santa's going surfing for the summer.
To see Santa sitting up there so big and brave, and then to have him in your community, as a community such as ours, it's like, wow.
You know, we've needed things done in this community for a long time, and we were starting to think, well, maybe they weren't going to do too much around here, like pave the road. And so when Santa came, things just started happening.
The city came out and installed a bus stop, so I think it's really helped the area.
They didn't save simply a statue. They saved a spirit that no matter what your religious background, even if you're an atheist, Santa represents a special spirit which is love and giving, and how can anyone destroy that kind of a spirit?
Christmas is about dreams. Hollywood is about dreams. Well, I'm Johnny Grant. I am the honorary mayor of Hollywood as appointed by the Hollywood Chamber of Commerce.
Well, Hollywood is a lot different as far as being up east, because I'm from up east where it snows and you have all the cold weather. Here you got the warm weather and no snow.
You know, in Hollywood, if they want to see snow, they can see it, you know. All you got to do is make a phone call. Christmas in Hollywood is outrageous.
It's called Tinseltown, and that's for a reason, because it's very sparkly and glitzy.
Hollywood is built on hype and glitz, and even if it isn't the greatest, they will sell you on believing it is. And that comes first, and then the product is second.
Hollywood, well, I mean, come on. You can't beat it. This is something way different.
That's a part of the charm, if I may use that word, of Hollywood. People obviously buy it. They come here 20 million a year just to see the stars on the boulevard. You never know what you're going to see on top of somebody's house, what they do to their trees. They probably dress a little crazier than other people do. The Santa Claus may even go out and have a little touch, you know, before appearances. You never know what's going to happen.
Thank you very much.
In the early days, Hollywood was known as the Paris of America. The hub was Broadway Hollywood. We called it then the Ampulas. Everybody would be there shopping. You could run into the big stars. The biggest event during the holiday season is the Hollywood Christmas Parade. Well, I used to ride in it, and then I produced it for 20 years. And in the very early days, it was a very small parade. And they added celebrities, and it just kept growing and growing and growing. And over the years, they've all been in it. You name it. They've been in the Hollywood Christmas parade. From Red Skelton to Bob Hope, Gene Autry, the legends of the business, they've all been in it. This year will be the 73rd annual event. That's the most eclectic group of people we have on the boulevard is for the parade. You've got the young kids, you've got the old people, and I don't care how cold it is. There comes the guy in shorts and a t-shirt. You'll have the highest priced lawyer in town standing there talking to one of the biggest crooks in town. You're seeing the ethnicity of the world seated along the sidewalk.
And the parade has been absolutely fantastic.
I enjoyed the bands. I mean, they was getting their little march on. It was awesome.
The little prancing, dancing horses were really fantastic to watch.
I like the horses. My favorite part was the cheerleaders because how they moved and how they did the work with the pom-poms.
The celebrities who come out, and I'm just as starstruck as anybody.
Christmas in Hollywood is a great experience because where else can you have 2.5 hours of sitting and playing? Who is that and what TV show are they on?
Wave at them as they go by.
It's usually just people saying, look at me, and snapping pictures.
Our family celebrates Hanukkah.
Well, seeing Johnny Grant was very special. He has been in every single parade.
You never know what they're going to say to you when you're riding down the boulevard. The young kids smiling and wanting to run up and get on the float, and especially when Santa's float comes along.
My favorite part of the parade was when Santa came out. I love Santa Claus.
You can't have Christmas without Santa.
Christmas means different things to different people. Christmas is in your heart.
The colorway.
Here we go.
All right, here we go, guys.
Remember from now.
This is Riley, Sarah, and Amanda.
First, I think they wanted Riley to play Buddy, and he did one scene, but then he got a little tired, so he started crying, and then we got Sarah to do it, and Sarah worked out good.
We need to move the baby into the center a little, please, Jim.
There it is, I see it.
There you go, thank you.
Here we go.
She usually is good and likes the camera. She's a little hammy and she'll do funny faces, but she's kind of tired right now, so it's time to go for a walk soon.
Action. What?
What in the name of Sam Hill? What is this?
the kid's great. This is the same kid that was crawling all over.
I know, isn't that amazing? I went, good old Sarah. I love when she responds to everybody who comes up and talks. She has good eyelines.
This is the costume truck. It's like a large warehouse on wheels. Buddy, who's basically played by Will Ferrell, all the costumes that he will be using during this production are basically kept here, and I will pull from them as we need it. This closet has about a dozen different costumes for him. We also carry costumes for his photo doubles, his stunts, and in this particular case, Buddy at various ages, from baby to age 10, and then we carry a couple of oversized buddies as well. This is where we're keeping the elves' costumes. We've got about 8 different people playing the elves. In some cases, we do have the multiples. So we're basically set up as a small repair shop. We've got full-size laundry facilities. Any supplies we'll need to actually maintain, clean, or repair costumes.
So you've seen the gelatin ones already. The Fulliers. Okay, the smaller version, there's these ones. And they just fit really beautifully on top. A little bit of witch hazel. And just work it until the edge just softens. And then it dissolves and it's fine. And then we apply a little bit of color. And it's done.
All right, here's a little safety meeting. Once again, I'll just remind everyone, none of you will be here when we go and do this in a moment. We're just going to have everyone step out, including extras holding, just as a precaution. But over to you, Tony.
So, from an effects standpoint, as Jim just said, in the building there will only be the essential people.
My job on this particular project is to deal with all of what they call mechanical special effects. On this show, it's snow, fog, smoke, any of the mechanical builds that involve any of the talent, and any of the things that don't appear to involve the talent. The other thing, of course, is working with the stunt department and any of the stunts and slash effects that are involved in the project.
As we talked about, the tree, when it does hit the fireplace, it is plumbed right now with propane tubes inside there, which my guys control from this position here. When the tree hits, it will explode into flames. The flames will go up. We'll keep rolling. If for any reason at the time when it starts to catch on fire, there are any problems, myself and my crew will turn off the flames. And we'll also get in here to grab out our talent and also put the fire out.
A lot of them are what we call sight gags. With Will, we give him something really simple that we've built, and then he runs with it. He plays it up any way you can imagine.
My name's Kyle, and I stand in on the show for Will Ferrell, the elf. And as a stand-in, we work with the director and camera department to remake what the actor does on set for camera, lighting, and sound, so they can rehearse it, and then when they bring in the actor, it's all ready to go. When the actor's working, I watch to see what he does, so if anything changes, the camera department knows, and then when we're doing the setup, I'm doing the setup for the camera department. If we do an 18-hour day, I'm here 18 hours. I just like being part of the set, because you get to do everything the actor does, and it's very fun.
I provide all of the people that you would see in the movie that don't actually speak, and they're called extras or background performers. I have provided all kinds of people, but most specifically our little elves, and they've ranged from small adult people to little tiny children that we use as doubles. We've probably cast about 800 people in the entire movie. We've done everything from the mailroom guys, big department store sequence where we had families, Christmas shopping. How I got involved in this line of work, initially wanting to be an actor, I did a little bit of theatre work, and so I started doing work as an extra myself. I actually went out to a big casting call when they were looking for photo doubles for Goldie Hawn, and I really enjoyed the work, so I did more and more of that and did some stand-in work and photo doubling, and then I eventually got asked to help somebody with some casting, and one thing led to another, and I've ended up doing it myself.
I'm Graham Duffy.
Nicole Parker-Smith.
Veronica Matrama. And Richard McBride.
An extra or background performer is what they call the actors that you see in the background who don't have lines.
And we don't speak, we're quiet.
We don't speak ever.
We just make everything look a little more realistic.
It's a great way for anybody that's interested in the film industry to get in and see what the reality of it is. You get to be on set, you get to learn the basics, like what is a mark, what is the protocol on set. A lot of waiting.
Yeah.
Waiting and patience.
And early rises, we get
Early
here
rises.
maybe 6 to 8 o'clock. 8, I think, has been the latest call.
6 has been the earliest. We
Yeah,
get here and
5:30.
we rush. We rush into the costumes, we get put into our great costumes, and then we get our ears put on. And then we get our hats pinned on, because these are never going to come off.
Or if they're doing things like this with our hair, they do our hair first and then ears, and it's quite a long process, so.
This isn't actually my hair.
We're all cast special skills on this one due to our size. If there was a size requirement and a look that was specific for this movie, they were looking for people who are sort of slightly elf-like.
I'm one of the tallest. I'm 5'6".
He's the gigantor of the group.
Yeah.
I'm 5 feet tall.
5'2".
6'8".
Yes, and you're funny.
5'6 3/4".
We decided that if we had controlled the palette in the movie up until you walk into Santa Land, that it might be so jarring that you might have the same feeling that he does. And so what does he do? He takes all the color away. It was the cinematographer's notion that perhaps he wraps everything, so it gave us the chance to make it all golden. He transforms the space by taking all the color out and making it sort of elegant and beautiful. It took 12 people 2 weeks to manufacture all of these decorations that ostensibly in the film takes Buddy 6 hours to do by himself overnight.
Hey guys, look, I don't know if you noticed, but something weird is going on here. I think corporate sent in a professional. But this can mean our jobs.
I cracked up you guys again. I'm sorry, I can't help it.
One more. Okay.
We have to remain a team that just...
That's great.
So we should do that.
Santa's hurrying.
You're just like, God. My code word is Santa's got a brand new bag, okay? 6-inch ribbon curls.
That's impossible.
6, honey.
That's impossible. Oh, yeah. The look on your face after Faizon left was...
Yes,
Okay. Yeah, I mean, it's more you. Are you comfortable with it?
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
fine to me.
It's not Santa! It's not!
Got it!
Got it right? You right?
Good job, Paul. Action.
Come here! Come here!
Action.
He's a fake! He's a fake!
Yeah, come here!
He's a fake!
Come here! Come here! Oh!
Got it? Got it. Checking that gate.
Could try, I mean.
You want to put the skeleton maybe where the chair is? What Buddy needs is to be nurtured.
Well, Ben. Right, that's right?
Yeah.
Well, Ben, do you want me to breastfeed him? Well, then you do it, Ben. Because I don't think I can do that. I'm not doing that. I don't think I can do that. I don't think I can do that. I don't think I can do that.
Walter.
I don't think I can do that.
Could be wrong.
Action. Down. Got it. That's pretty good.
We elves try to stick to the main. Then yes. We elves try to stick to the main.
Wow. Did you hear that?
Keep going and don't laugh. Just do the burp again.
Wow! Did you hear that one?
Look up at him like he's disgusting.
Did you hear that one?
Okay, check it. Sorry.
Yes, that there's a horrible sound coming from the evil box underneath the window. It sounds like this. Oh. I painted you a picture. I painted a picture of a butterfly. Do you like unicorns? I love you. Do you want to know what I'm eating? Okay, I love you. Bye. Mmm. Mmm.
Coming this November.
Wow, you're fast. I didn't think I could catch up to you, but I did. Hey, why is your coat so big? Do you have a lot of homework? Hey, do you have a lot of friends? Do you have a best friend? Hey, why is your coat so big? Hey, you know what? You want to build a fort? Maybe later we can go hang out. You want to go to the store? Did I not say,
You didn't say big coat, too.
Yeah,
You said,
I messed up.
why is your coat so big, right?
Again.
Again.
So how was school? Was it fun? Did you get a lot of homework? You bet you get tons of homework. Do you have friends? Huh? Do you have a best friend? Does he have a big coat too?
Go away!
Does he have a big coat too?
Go away!
Son of a nutcracker! Son of a nutcracker!
Run!
Son of a nutcracker!
That was great.
We do craft services, and what craft services is we provide food and snacks and beverages throughout the day for our cast and crew members. We make sandwiches, little hot snacks just to keep the crew going, a little morale support.
Go to 3, Nick.
What about the sleepover? Yeah. I do a routine as Buddy in the mailroom. I was 5 years old when I started Ukrainian dancing. Any dancing, you have to start fairly young in order to get that initial jump up. It's hard to start later in life. Once you hit about 14 or 15, you really start to do the interesting, trickier stuff. And even though I tried to quit a few times when I was a kid, my mom persuaded me to stick with it, and I'm glad she did. Will and I had about 3 hours together. We went into a little yoga studio and worked as much as we could until they called him back. Hey, 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 hey. Two, 3, 4, 6, 8. 6, 7, 8. 1. Left. Down. Turn. And then make those 1. He's a quick study. I think he's got more natural rhythm than I do. I've seen him on SNL in the past, and he always does great dance stuff. I wasn't too worried about it, and he did a good job.
You rehearse before you ever film, and you kind of set up the shot for however the director and the director of photography choose to do it.
Yeah, Will doing it.
Rubner says it's going to be good. It is going to be good.
Once you pick the way you're going to shoot it, then you start doing takes.
Find the floor each piece is moving to.
Every time you roll the camera, when you call action and when you call cut, it's called a take. And you can do 1 take or you can do 50 takes. The camera will show me talking, and then you'll have a cut and it'll show the other actor talking. So what may only be a minute and a half in film time can take a whole day to shoot because of all the coverage.
Wow, that is very sick. That is wonderful. Did you realize? Ah! Yes, it's very sucky indeed.
And then usually Jon, the director, will come back and then give you what are called notes.
And this will give them a nice long look after work release in case you want to go out on that.
He'll say, this time do the scene, but I want to see that you play it a little more scared. So then you have to do it again, but you do different versions every time. You might be more scared, you might be more anxious.
Wonderful. Tickles.
Is that about right?
Yeah.
That's better? More better?
That's more better.
More better?
Well, hello.
Well, hello.
The pink bar is for me.
Green.
Green, it's for you.
For the elf. Bling. Bling.
Is that real fake snow or
Real
is
fake
it fake snow? Come with me. Sorry. Sorry. I made Will walk into an orange cone.
Second mark?
I think we got it, guys. Let's go one more. One more for fun.
You love that one. You loved it. You loved it.
I did.
You said, man,
I think we got it.
guys.
We are going to be doing a Steadicam shot with Will Ferrell skating on the ice. I'm the Steadicam operator, so an ex-hockey player. I'm going to go out there and skate with Will and carry the Steadicam around and hopefully not kill myself. These guys are the other camera assistants, and so they're going to come out there too and risk life and limb to pull focus and reload the camera and everything on ice skates. I don't think that guy really knows what he's doing over there, though.
I'm one of the camera assistants, so I'm the guy who has to hit the slate and then run off, which will be a little tough on the ice, I think. If I was doing skates, I wouldn't be all that effective, so definitely gonna go with the boots.
You're sweet.
I'm not just saying it because I mean it.
You do?
Yeah.
Hello, America.
You keep your hands in front.
Right.
Then it keeps you. It's like you're doing a soft shoe. Well, if you feel like you're gonna fall, just hold on tight.
Yeah, but if I hold on tight, I'm gonna bring you down with me.
That's okay. And then you just kind of push from side to side. And then you're gliding along. Just like that. Piece of cake.
It is kind of.
I mean, literally, like a piece of cake. Like a big
Like a
piece
big
piece of cake.
Someone's calling me just now. Hi, I'm at the circus. Okay, so that was me talking on the walkie. This is my microphone, and this is my earpiece here. And that way, if I'm on set, it's just directly into my ear, and not everybody hears the walkie going off when we don't blow the take. It goes off all day long. There's all the production is on channel 1, and there's about 10 different channels on the walkie. And we talk back and forth about when actors are needed on set, different equipment that we might need on set, lockups around the perimeter of filming so we get nobody passing by. There's some codes. If you have to go to the bathroom, you say, I'm going 10-100. So that's the code for that. And if somebody's coming and walking through the film set and they might end up on camera or something, locations will say, we have a bogey. Well, what's your 20 is where are you? This is the circus. We always announce the rolls and the cuts over the walkie. So, oh look, somebody's asking me my 20. I'm at the circus.
Invite Will in, and let's invite Jovi back.
That we're putting the hat on and he'll be right out.
Okay, and where's Jovi?
Right at the entrance. Oh, she's on the ice by the entrance area.
Leg stretching. Michael. What? Hey, Caan and Greg are over here. I'm waiting for Will to come out. Can we just have him for rehearsal? They're getting ready like we're shooting and we're not.
I see wiring. I'm plugging in. Seriously, I'm back. Fantastic.
You know, pull him away. We gotta go. We gotta go. Okay, here it comes.
What the guys when they pumped it out? You guys pumped it out.
We haven't done that yet.
It's coming in, sir. It's coming in.
Do I have to do 604?
This weekend I noticed that you guys always started. It actually looks better than the
Under, you just rotate. That's it. Oh yeah? Yeah, give me 6 inches of...
Ow! Okay. No. I thought we were...
Nice, Will. Ready, and action.
Oh.
Tuck under the chin more.
Ow! He bit me! Go on. Call me Elf one more time. Call me Elf. You're an elf. Oh.
God.
Now look back at Buddy. Now, look at the exit on the ladder like you can't believe your eyes. Now smile. Shazam smile. Come on.
Jon knows my point of view. If I'm having a hard time doing something, he knows why. He can help me with anything I might have trouble with, like a tutor in some ways.
Throw it, and as soon as you throw it, you look over to Buddy, and you look where he's throwing. He's throwing at that X, you're throwing it at that hat. So
if he feels that it's natural, he'll let us do anything we want, and that's how I feel that he's a great director.
now look back at Buddy, and smile. Shazam. All right, cut.
Run around the Lunken tunnel.
Somewhere.
Leg of the tunnel, just laying it.
With the left hand.
I knew when they left the hotel.
Yeah, definitely not good.
We want to tear the bottom off?
Oh, listen, something I have to tell you. I have to tell you now.
There's something I gotta tell you guys.
No. Something I have to tell you, and I have to tell you right now. I didn't mean to hit your microphone like that.
That's okay.
That's basically all I have to say.
This to your son.
315?
487.
You're just a liar.
Will you think it's him? Or are you interested?
What?
Of course, I could have changed with all my running through the woods. Or not.
At this light, the Daniels can start veering off, you guys can start slowing down. You only got between the light and the cop car to slow down.
All right, we miss
Slowly.
There, right? Let's get one right in there. Yeah, but you get too close to the horses, they start pulling them back.
That's beautiful, guys. You'll win with the slice. Not too far away.
Yeah, 2 by 1 on your shoulder.
Let's see the screws in his head.
Carefully bites.
Right, and you're gonna go as far as you
And he's going to look straight up, so all of you, when you hear action, just look straight over your head.
Okay, thank you. All of the extras were here at 5, and they'll stay until dawn, until we're done shooting. All kinds of extras get thrown in there, depending on how cold it is, how many wardrobe changes they have, if they bring props. Tonight I have 150. They do all right. They make upwards of 115 per day. The cold, we bear with it. They freeze. We do what we can to make everybody as comfortable as possible, give them breaks, hand warmers, toe warmers, but really they're out here suffering with everybody else.
God, it's just awesome. I don't know how they do it.
So much better.
A little.
I don't know. I'll check it in. Yeah.
Action!
The ones turning slightly. The ones in the back.
I don't think the ones in the back are looking back. They're just looking up because it's going over their heads.
That's what I'm saying. So if you can make that announcement, and at that point, everybody creates their own reality. Because
pretend you're following it down
the
the line.
sled is extremely long.
Okay.
It's steady. The whole thing's steady no matter what. It just looks it's steady, but when it turns back,
Time to move again. We're going back to shoot some more ice hockey stuff.
Action!
It's just a 3D digitizer. He'll be created in a digital form where he can be animated and put into situations that may be too dangerous to physically put him in. The machine here scanned him with an infrared laser, and we were able to capture him digitally, basically. So now we have a 3D file of Will.
Oh, wow.
Got a little bit of movement.
That's great.
You have a very heroic bone structure.
Looks like Mount Rushmore.
Yeah.
I'm very pleased. Have you finished your story? Okay. So I think what we'll do is we'll just color up that picture. And if you like, we'll do one more mouth sheet, and then that will be your day. How does that sound? Okay, good. I'm responsible for educating any or all of the children that come onto the movie set as actors, as extras, any of the kids that they bring to us. Right now we have 12 children on set, and we've got 2 teachers working, each with 6 kids. How are you? Good. They're responsible for bringing their own schoolwork, but some of the kids haven't been able to get to school because they've had a couple of professional days, so we've been making up as we go along. Basically, we follow the curriculum that each child has from their own school, and we just try to facilitate it so that they can ease right back into their classroom.
And my job as a coordinator is to engineer and manufacture all the stunts that we're doing, make it safe, make everybody happy, give the director what he wants to see, what his vision is. When it goes, it's like, whoa, hands in the air, couple in. Remember your elves. As much as it's a catastrophe, it's still fun. Nobody gets hurt. When Buddy body checks somebody that's so small, we thought, we got a bleacher. Let's pop them into the bleachers, they break, everybody falls in a big hole in the bottom. So with the special effects department, we engineer how we can build these bleachers and manufacture them with a hinge and a hydraulic system in them so that they can pop up and slide in. There's about 4 people that I use for stunts. They're new in the industry, they're just starting out, so something like this, it's not really that difficult to do. As long as you've got some sense of your body and your spatial awareness, you can do this safely. There's a big mat down in the middle, there's lots of snow, and we can do it safely, and we can do it again and again and again. And you can go home in one piece and tell your kids about it.
Woohoo! Let's do it again!
A background costumer dresses background. I take care of their costumes and maintain the continuity for the show. Some days it can be 2,000 people. It's making sure that there's no holes, no lint. That's what we use the rollers for. Brushes to fluff up the fur on this show. We have lots of fur on the costumes. Taking care of shoes, shining shoes, making sure that the look that the designer wants is maintained.
I'm Freddie, otherwise known as the Snowman, and I've never really lived where there's snow, so to me, snow's cool. I mean, we're used to having Christmas Day at 80 degrees. Everyone else, you know, back east in the Midwest and that, their Christmas is a white Christmas. We get all the fun out of the snow and none of the nightmares. Wherever you want it, we'll put it. I'll probably about 80 by like 50. Throw a couple of 300-pound blocks into the machine and it is ground up and pulverized inside of this chamber here. There's paddles that sling it out of the hose and then we put it where we want. These machines were made to top the railroad cars and the trucks with the produce. And then it was like, oh, wait a minute, we can make snow in California for the studios. And we changed them around a little bit so it makes a little finer snow.
Every year, Oscar De La Hoya brings snow to the city of East Los Angeles. Fred is always, ready to help us out. I called him just a couple of weeks ago with all these events going on. He goes, Armando, I'll make it there. I'll make something happen.
Always a pleasure. See you next year.
See you next year.
All right. Last week, we did 2 TV shows for their Christmas shows, and we did 90 tons for them. We're on our way to go do low-income housing, doing their Christmas party. They have a little play area to play in. The month of December is just a month where we're just going constantly. I get to make the snow for the kids, which is great.
The whole week, that's all they've been talking about. We can't wait to snow day. We can't wait to snow day.
They've seen snow on TV or in the movies, but they just don't get it until they touch the snow for the first time. They're like, wow.
And I like to eat.
It's very exciting for some of the kids that probably never seen snow.
Oh, without snow, it's Christmas. What's Christmas? It's great to watch them.
They're all enjoying it. They all like it. They're having a ball.
Okay. We re-perform the actors with sound effects. This is our food that never goes bad. These are our chamois. Most people use them to wash their cars with. We use them for food.
We both were sound effects assistants. That's how we started out. We just had the knack for it.
Get to work.
You want to suggest we throw the saloon out.
Spaghetti inside.
Yeah, let's do those spaghetti.
My job day to day is
basically to comb the film for elements that I want the Foley walkers to perform. I'll sit down with some notes from the sound supervisor who is speaking to the director. They'll discuss what they want to achieve, and I communicate that to the Foley walkers. Really like the creative process as it goes along, and really love the crews that we end up working with are the most outrageous personalities, so that part's really fun.
Foley mixing is basically recording the sound effects and the sounds created by the Foley artist. And the primary object of the recording is to record in such manner that it'll work for the film. Usually movies have quite an impact on us. And the fact that we sit with it and work on it for days after days, we end up being part of it. In a sense, our mood changes. The good thing about Alf was that because Will Ferrell is so funny, and the movie is so good that it just somehow uplifts our spirit, and the fact that it does that helps us create better sound effects for the movie.
I take all the pieces that they shoot that go together to make up a visual effects shot, and I line them up and put them together, like when we have a shot of Santa's sleigh flying through Central Park. We're up in New York in Central Park shooting just to get the background for the shot. Then they went on to a blue screen stage and they had a motion control sleigh. So they shoot the actors in the sleigh against a blue background. And then what I do is I take the shot with the sleigh and the blue background, and I can take all of the blue out, so you just have the sleigh and the actors. And then I can put that against the shot that they shot in Central Park of the background with the trees moving behind them and everything. And when that's put together and you have to line it up just right so it looks like it's natural and it fits, then you have a shot with the sleigh flying through Central Park.
We're getting walloped.
Buddy, get in there and do your thing.
Thanks, Pom-Pom. Sorry about the shoulder.
No sweat. Just a collarbone.
As much as Buddy was accepted by his family and friends, there were a few drawbacks to being a human in an elf's world.
Ah, golly. La 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 la. Mistletoe. My bad. My bad.
Buddy, are you okay?
Go away.
Buddy, what's wrong?
I'm sorry, Papa. I just need some alone time.
Buddy, I think we have to talk. Buddy, come. Sit with your papa. What is it, buddy?
Well, everyone knows that you're Santa's master tinker.
Right.
And Grandpa was master tinker before you.
Right.
Great-grandpa before him.
Right.
And I'm supposed to follow in your footsteps. But I'm always letting everyone down.
Buddy, I think we probably should have a talk, and it's probably long overdue. Buddy, you're not.
What is it, Papa?
I want you to help me with something. So, if you'll get up.
Okay.
Real slow.
Taking the books back?
See, I see what you're trying to do here. You're trying to make me feel bad, when in actuality, you're the one that missed the payments.
Oh, but we've been trying to get you the money, but it's been so difficult to raise the funding. The children are sponsoring another bake sale next month, so that should help.
See, that there is your problem. Look, you can't expect a bake sale to make, solid cash these days. You got these places. You got, Cinnabon, you got Dunkin' Donuts, Starbucks. They all make their own baked goods. You guys, you really gotta start thinking outside the box. You see what I'm trying to say here, Miss Sister?
But the children love the books.
Thank you. I mean, I know that. I made them, and, I'm the one that ran the focus groups, but I like hearing that.
Mr. Hobbs, your 2 o'clock is here.
Would you please use the intercom? We talked about this.
Do you want me to use it now? Because I already told you. Go use it again.
Yeah?
Mr. Hobbs, your 2 o'clock is here.
2? Mm-hmm. Okay, got it. Well, I'll tell you what. I know how much these books mean to your kids over there, so it's Christmas, and what the hell? I'm gonna give you a 3-week extension.
Oh, bless your heart.
Yours as well.
Oh, Papa. I had the worst nightmare.
What was it, buddy?
Oh. I dreamt I wasn't an elf at all. I was a human. It was awful.
Buddy, I love you, and nothing can ever change that. But it wasn't a dream. Buddy, you're not an elf.
What do you mean I'm not an elf?
You're a human being.
Can you speak up?
You're a human being.
No wonder I'm always freezing.
We decided it would be best if we let you think that, well, you were one of us. I mean, I felt sure when you cracked 6 feet that, well, it would come up.
Well, I just thought I had a glandular problem.
Your glands are fine.
So you're not my papa?
I will always be your papa. It's just that you have another papa. You have a biological papa. Come over to my desk.
Hello, buddy.
Oh, hey, Leon.
Why the long face, partner?
Well, it seems I'm not an elf.
Of course you're not. You're 6'3" and had a beard since you were 15.
Papa says my real father lives in a magical place far away. I don't know what to do.
At least you have it, Daddy. I was just rolled up one day. I'm not even sure who did it.
But I've never even left the North Pole before.
Buddy, I've been around the world many times when I was a cumulus nimbus cloud. It's a wonderful place filled with wondrous creatures. Except dogs. I don't care much for dogs. Oh, by the way, don't eat the yellow snow.
Oh, I know that.
All I'm saying is, this might be the golden opportunity to find out who you really are.
You know what? You're right, Leon. I'm gonna go do it. I'm gonna go find my dad.
You do that, buddy.
Okay.
And remember, it ain't yellow ices.
No, I know. Thanks, Leon.
Hi.
What are you doing here?
I was in the neighborhood and I thought I'd walk you home.
You thought you'd walk me home?
What, is that so weird?
Well, I've worked here for 4 years and you've never walked me anywhere.
Right. Well, it's a nice night.
What's wrong?
Honey, why does there have to be something wrong? I just said it was a nice night.
Okay,
and really,
okay,
I mean,
okay.
It's a very beautiful night.
I'm sorry.
Hi.
This is nice.
Good.
Wow.
Okay, something's a little wrong.
Dad? Dad? Dad?
What?
I can't go to sleep unless I get tucked in.
What?
I can't go to sleep unless I get tucked in.
I am not going to tuck you in.
I promise I'll go right to sleep.
Fine.
Tickle fight! Tickle fight! Tickle fight! Tickle fight! Sorry.
Hey, you just lay there and go to sleep.
Okay.
Okay.
Dad?
Hmm?
I love you.
Okay. Go to sleep now.
Do you love me?
Yeah, sure. Go to sleep now.
How much? On a scale of 1 to 10.
Well, I haven't known you for very long. But I can say my feelings are significant.
Significant?
Good night.
Good night. Dad? Dad? Dad?
What?
Just to be clear, when you say significant, do you mean...
You feeling strong, my friend? Call me Elf one more time. He's an angry elf.
Look at you! Ow! Hey, what? I wasn't ready for that.
Say it again. Say it again. Say it again.
Oh!
Ow! He bit me! Call me Elf one more time. Call me Elf.
You're an elf.
He thinks he's an elf.
Nobody bites Miles Finch.